and gentlemen, on the news are tonight, Waqf reform backers beaten, who's compromising Samvidhan now, what happened to those lectures of tolerance? That's debate number 1 on the news are tonight. Also coming up as debate number 2 at 9:30 p.m. Is there a trend of Ram Bhakts being targeted on Ram Navami in West Bengal? That's a big debate coming up at 9:30. But first up, ladies and gentlemen, it is often said that India is a nation of diversities as well as contradictions. After all, here, politics is like religion, and religion is dragged into politics almost on a daily basis. Those who march for Mohabbat are now peddling nafrat. Those who project themselves as secularists are also the ones who give dhamkis of aag laga denge. Today, let's remind you how we the people pay the price of Rajniti ki aag. And today, let's put a human face and name to this. This, ladies and gentlemen, on your screens is Zahid Saifi, an elderly man from Sambhal in Uttar Pradesh. Last evening, after offering namaz, he was leaving the masjid where he was accosted by 3 men who were identified as Rizwan, Naushad and Shoaib. They clobbered him with sticks and slashed him with a sharp weapon, injuring his ear. What was his fault? Well, he dared to openly support Prime Minister Modi and back the Waqf reform. Look at the irony. He was thrashed black and blue for praising the democratically elected 3-term Prime Minister of India in his own country. He was also told that he has now become a Hindu for backing Modi. Unfortunately, he's not alone. This on your screens is Anwar Manipadi from Bengaluru, the former chief of the Karnataka State Minority Commission. He claims that he's got multiple death threats and messages. They have warned him that he will not survive for long and that his own community will not spare him. Again, you wonder why. During the Waqf debate, in Parliament, Union Home Minister Amit Shah referred to the Karnataka Waqf Land Report, which has been authored by Anwar Manipadi himself. So yes, his fault was that he reported on the land loot by Waqf bodies, which was cited in the Parliament. Today, he fears for his life. He has no option but to live in fear. Listen to the plight of Zahid Saifi and Anwar Manipadi in their own words.
And I had this TED calls for about 7, 8, 9 times, and it was in various languages, including English, Marathi, Malayalam, Kannada, Tulu, and so on. My report of 2011-12, wherein 230,000 crores of worth properties have been embezzled by the culprits.
नौशाद है, एक रिजवान है और एक शोएब गंजा है। इस पे तो गुंडा एक्ट लगी हुई है। डंडे भी थे और धारदार चीज भी थी। अच्छा, धारदार चीज भी थी, डंडे भी थे। हम मोदी के लिए भी बुरा कह रहे थे, वो योगी जी के लिए भी बुरा कह रहे थे। बोले ये तो सत्यानाश है। बोले तुम भी इनके साथ में हिंदू हो गए। मैंने भाई हिंदू ना हुआ, बिल्कुल सही हुआ है।
But why were Zahid Saifi and Anwar Manipadi targeted? Is it because they belong to the minority community and dared to openly back Modi and his reform? Is there a pattern to this vicious intimidation and targeted strikes? Is this the outcome of poisonous politics of divide and rule from the Sansad to the Sadak? Is there a formula for incitement? On the floor of the House, Uddhav Thackeray's Member of Parliament, Sanjay Raut, said that the Waqf bill will turn India into a Hindu Pakistan. Sonia Gandhi declared that the bill was bulldozed through. She was later even chastised by the Speaker for casting aspersions on parliamentary democracy. The All India Muslim Personal Law Board has not only called for a nationwide protest but sought necessary sacrifices from the entire Muslim community. Other echo chambers too are adding fuel to the fire, calling for a Shaheen Bagh-like protest against the Waqf reforms. Watch how they are fanning the flames of nafrat.
सबको कमर बस्ता होना चाहिए और इस जुल्म और इस जाति के खिलाफ लड़ना चाहिए।
आपको लगता है कि शाहीन बाग जैसे आंदोलन करके मसले का हल निकल सकता है?
बिल्कुल।
अमेंडमेंट जो आया उसमें साफ है कि सरकार ये वक्फ बचाओ बिल नहीं है, वक्फ फॉर डेवलपमेंट करना नहीं है, ये वक्फ को लूटने का बिल है, वक्फ को खत्म कर देगी।
सड़क की लड़ाई के अलग मायने होते हैं, असल लड़ाई सुप्रीम कोर्ट में। हम सुप्रीम कोर्ट जाएंगे। सिर्फ मुसलमान में नाराजगी नहीं है, देश के अंदर जो देश को चाहने वाला है हर वो व्यक्ति स्तब्ध है। ये सीधे सीधे संविधान पर चोट है।
ये वक्फ बिल पास होने से देश का विभाजन आगे बढ़ जाएगा।
This is not the first time that this is happening. Remember, Congress MP Imran Masood threatened the Ajmer Dargah chief Sayyid Nasiruddin Chishti for backing the Waqf bill and said, "Ye dash dash band karein BJP ki." The words cannot even be repeated. These were the words used as a threat by a member of parliament of the Congress party. Last year, Dr. Samwar Patel, chairman of the Madhya Pradesh Waqf Board, received death threats for backing the Waqf bill. A man gave his wife triple talaq for praising cops' action in restoring peace after Sambhal clashes. Even Shah Bano, the woman who paid the price for Rajiv Gandhi's appeasement politics, was denounced as an infidel because she dared to approach the Supreme Court demanding her rights. No one came to the defense of Shah Bano, Zahid Saifi or Anwar Manipadi. The secularists won't hold a candlelight march for them or shed a tear or raise a voice. So, ladies and gentlemen, the legitimate question that we're asking on the news are tonight: who's compromising the Samvidhan now? That's the question and that's the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
Joining the debate tonight, Pradeep Bhandari, national spokesperson of the BJP, Subuhi Khan, national convener of the Rashtra Jagran Abhiyan, Ishkaran Bhandari, advocate in the Supreme Court, Mohammad Tariq Khan, national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, also joining the debate, Rajiv Riaz, Pratap Gadi, political analyst. But my first question goes to Kamru Zaman Chaudhry, Congress leader. And Kamru Zaman Chaudhry, I want to ask you, why has there been no cry for those who are being beaten up just because they support the Waqf bill? You have a right to protest. Everybody has a right to protest. But if somebody does not want to protest and wants to support the bill, even if he is from the minority community, will he have to actually face death threats? Is that the Samvidhan that Mr. Rahul Gandhi preaches? Is that the Samvidhan that he carries in his pocket? And what do you say to those who have actually written in Kerala Daily Suprapahatam, said to be very close to those who you support, the IUML? I want to ask you, they say Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi Vadra have betrayed the cause of the Muslims because Rahul Gandhi did not speak in parliament. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra was not present in parliament. Even they are being condemned in a manner which is not constitutional. But are you scared to even oppose them?
Well, Navika ji, good evening. Too many points you have asked here. Let me take them one by one. First, you have asked the question why people are being attacked for their opinion about the Waqf bill. Let me cite you a small example. When we were speaking about the Ajmer Dargah Sharif Khadim, who was supporting Narendra Modi ji's Waqf bill, on November 27, 2024, you must remember that a group called Hindu Sena filed a case in the Ajmer court against the same Dargah that is a Khadim out there, claiming that to be a Shiv temple. Now the point here is that you have got a right to support or oppose a bill, no doubt about it. But when you are in a position of power or when you are in a position of representation, there lies the actual problem. Then you should not be a Sarkari Maulana out here. Like five Sarkari Maulanas, they went and met the RSS chief and requested him for amicably letting both the communities stay in the country in harmony. But after that we saw the number of mob lynchings, the number of claims over Muslim mosques had increased, over dargahs had increased, over their places of worship have increased. Even in Sambhal we saw what happened. People were not allowed to offer their namaz on the rooftops. Now coming to the other point wherein the Indian Union Muslim League had opposed Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi or Priyanka Gandhi not attending the parliament, I think that is a biased statement to make, because all parliamentary proceedings that is there slated on the day has been decided by the Congress Parliamentary Board who will be the speakers. But at the point when there was supposed to be a voting, because Rahul Gandhi was not supposed to be speaking, there were plenty of other members who were listed in the parliamentary board as to be speakers on that debate. So Rahul Gandhi's name was not there. So it's not necessary that every member of the Congress party needs to speak in the parliament. I believe that all of us have seen how
anybody who supports Modi or supports the reform is a Sarkari Maulana, and anybody who doesn't speak because there are others to speak for him. Then why does he complain about the lack of his constitutional right to speak in parliament? I don't know. Every time there is an opportunity, he ducks the opportunity, but wants to speak when he chooses to speak. But Pradeep Bhandari, please respond to Kamruzaman Chaudhary. And I don't find it funny, but I actually find it extremely saddening that anybody who supports from the Muslim community, this bill and the reform of Waqf is now a Sarkari Maulana. Is that the way this country is going to function?
Well, Navika ji, those who've been Congressy Maulanas all their life will never be able to support the poor Muslims who are now silently backing this bill. But let me just begin with a very small argument. Navika ji, you spoke about Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Vadra. Rahul has been a member of parliament from Kerala. Priyanka Vadra at present is a member of parliament from Kerala. Let me name certain individuals. Shamshed, Mohammad Qasim Seth, their properties have been encroached by Waqf in Kerala. In Ernakulam, Shani, Rehan, Sebastian Joseph, and similarly 600 families, their properties have been encroached by Waqf. In Bihar, where Rahul Gandhi will be touring, Govindpuri village, which is 95% Hindu, Brijesh, Balla Prasad, Rajkishore Mehta, Ramlal Sio, Mehti Devi, Sanjay Prasad, Sudeep Kumar, Surendra Vishwakarma, and others, their property has been encroached by Waqf. So I listed you victims from all the families. But why has Mr. Vadra, Mr. Gandhi and Mrs. Vadra not spoken about the minority Christians who've been the aggrieved party in Kerala? And let me just throw another challenge to my fellow panelists, Navika ji, on your show. I give them 50% of my time. Can they enlist number of schools, name of the school that Waqf board has made, name of the medical hospital that Waqf board has made, name of number of houses for the Muslim community that Waqf board has named? Can they specifically do so?
Kamruzaman Chaudhary, ball in your court. Do you want to respond?
No, basically you see, if last 10 years Narendra Modi ji is in power, the Waqf board, we have raised a number of issues about the Waqf board.
Name.
Instead of empowering the Waqf board,
before Modi came, you were in power. I want to ask you, what are the charitable works that were done through the Waqf board? Can you list, as Pradeep Bhandari has requested you? Please answer to the point.
Yes, of course. There are hundreds and thousands of Waqf properties which are engaging the poor Muslims of this country, which are building up the schools of this country, which are supporting the madrasa education system of the country. Now, if you want a list, please come to my office. Please come to my office. I will submit you the list.
Name few, I will name. He will not be able to name because he knows nothing has happened. But the likes, no. You can't get away, my dear friend. You always beat around the bush like your leader.
What nonsense are you speaking, Mr. Bhandari?
No, sir.
Do you know about the Etim Khana in Calcutta? I am from Calcutta and tell you, the Etim Khana of Calcutta is run by the Waqf board only.
But I will tell you, the likes of Mukhtar Ansari, they have illegally occupied Waqf land in Mau, Ghazipur and Banaras. The likes of Congress party's leaders have illegally occupied Waqf land. The Manipati report had accused that. After that, the Congress party tried to dump that report. So Congress leaders and supporters of Samajwadi Party have occupied on the Waqf properties. But they have problem because, like Shah Bano's case, they could not even digest one 179 rupees of monthly maintenance to Shabano and stood with the Kattarpanthi Maulana. They are precisely doing this today.
Well, let me get in Mohammad Tariq Khan. Mohammad Tariq Khan, I want to ask you, there have been protests going on from Baikula in Mumbai to Ahmedabad to Kolkata to Madhya Pradesh, Indore. You know, everybody, all that is fine. Everybody has the democratic and constitutional right to protest, and they are doing so. I want to ask you, what about those who are fanning these protests? What about those people who are attacking members of the minority community who are in support of this reform that they say will be helpful for the poor? After all, it's their freedom of choice, and in the constitution, why should they be threatened?
Even on this panel, we have people from minority who are supporting this bill. I have no issue. This is democracy, and they have full right to support or disagree with the bill. What I want to say that now government want to become the court. Okay, any title dispute, they'll say it will be not settled in the court. They'll settle it. Just now said by BJP spokesperson. I'm reading out the schools of Waqf. Read it down and go home and search. Waqf number 19, District Bahraich. Waqf number 19, Uttar Pradesh, District Bahraich. 7 schools, charitable schools, they are running. And I'm just giving you the name. Go and search it. This is my challenge. Masudia Niswa School, Ghazi Girls Inter College, and 5 more charitable schools they are running with their own money. This is Waqf number 19, Bahraich. And how many Waqfs are there in Uttar Pradesh? 133,000 and something, Sunni and Shia, both included. So, if you're putting things like that Waqf don't run charitable school, don't run these type of hospitals, yes, they are in pathetic situation. They are corruption, we know that. But the way BJP adopted to fix those corruptions is not right. We are opposing those things. You are not curing the things that there is corruption in Waqf board. You just want to grab lands of the Muslim community. How?
आज से पहले तौसीफ भाई, before today, when did you raise the issue of corruption in Waqf? Does anybody on the panel remember this? Ishkaran Bhandari, I want to ask you, please put some pressure on your mind and just recall an instance where any political party that is today crying against the Waqf reforms has ever raised the issue that Waqf boards are in pathetic condition, their charity works are in pathetic condition, yes, they are full of corruption. How many times have you heard something like this? And then, if that is the situation, why is Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi and why is the Congress today in Supreme Court to challenge the reforms that have been suggested?
Navika ji, before coming to Waqf, what happened to the condition of Muslim women? When they got maintenance from the Supreme Court, we had protests and we had Rajiv Gandhi overturning in a sense that judgment. So when it comes to poor women or when it came to right for women in property, which person has protested? But the minute triple talaq comes in, where the minute equal right for Muslim women in property concept comes in, you will see a lot of people coming out and protesting against it. Same is the story of Waqf. Throughout history, all that happened before this amendment was every government, every time they amended the Waqf Act, they made it stronger and stronger to a level that it became a state within a state which could direct administration, which was power onto itself, which was actually indulging in land grab, a thing which the government gets accused of when it is trying to reform it, which is trying to bring it subject to the courts of the land. Why should the courts of the land not examine every aspect of every decision like they do in everything else? And you could win from court, you could lose from court. Why should a body be allowed to declare and take over land without showing documents? What is this concept of by user which was injected into this? Can any civilized society have people? Navika ji, you're sitting in Times Now studio. The government of India cannot take it over without showing documents, or if they acquire it, without giving adequate, sometimes more than the market rate of compensation. The government didn't have powers that the Waqf board had. That is the entire problem. But today on the debate, we saw this thing of Sarkari Mulanas. That is how entire Muslim vote bank has been captured. Because if somebody speaks sense, If somebody speaks in favor of laws, if somebody speaks of reform, if somebody speaks on balance, they were immediately branded as either BJP Maulanas or Sarkari Maulanas, not allowing reforms to happen within the community itself. Thank God this government has called the bluff on Article 370, has called the bluff on Uniform Civil Code, has called the bluff on Waqf Act. India can finally progress.
Well, let me ask Mr. Pratap Ghadi. Mr. Pratap Ghadi, questions that really come out. Why cannot the courts decide this matter? After all, Asaduddin Owaisi and Congress party are challenging the Waqf bill passed early hours of this morning in the courts only. So why the courts cannot be interested to resolve the disputes that arise out of Waqf? Why is that being objected to? And the other question, anybody who supports anything that Modi does is Sarkari, is Godi. Why? Who gives the right? Is this the constitutional right that is, possessed by those who oppose Modi? कि कोई मोदी को support करेगा? He is a Sarkari Maulana, he is a Godi media, he is a Modi Bhakt. Why this terminology? And who will answer the questions of Zahid Saifi, who is supporting this bill? Will he be beaten up?
No, look, madam, it is basically, there is reason behind everything. And basically it is 9.4 lakhs acre land that is causing constipation to the Bharatiya Janata Party. And just to appease the Hindu hardliners in this country, BJP has brought this bill, he has amended, which he earlier supported with Congress and unanimously passed this bill. And why it was required to amend this bill so soon? So, madam, I just wanted to highlight that now the Waqf property is in the hands of corrupt babus of this country. And the corruption is so high in this country, madam, let me tell you that 10% people hold 70% of wealth in this country, madam. And 50% from below, from the bottom, have just 7% wealth in this country. So reform is required here. What happening is, BJP is just playing Hindu. We are crushing Muslims. You be happy. We are on the verge of making this country a Hindu country. So this is why people don't rely. And if the BJP says that Muslims are happy and they are supporting this bill, so then go and have a proper survey in Muslim community. If majority says yes, then go ahead. If they say no, then it's not required, madam.
Rajiv Pratap Ghadi ji, on this panel, out of 6 people, 4 are from the minority community. 1 minute. On this panel of 6 people, 4 are from the minority community. How is this a Hindu nation? I want to ask Subuhi Khan. If you support Modi, you become a Sarkari Maulana. If, there are 4 minority, people representing their community on this panel, it becomes a Hindu Rashtra. What is this labeling exercise that is going on?
Yeah. Navika, it's a very good psychological technique that if you're not able to win by merit or by logic, then you try to discredit the speaker itself. That's what all of the panelists were trying to do. I want to reply to all 3 of them. First, Kamruz Zaman ji, he mentioned about Sambhal and about Muslims being mistreated in Uttar Pradesh because he's creating this propaganda. So it becomes my duty to clear this. I come from Uttar Pradesh and I have full respect and full protection in my state. How you are treated also depends upon how you behave, Kamruz Zamanji. It also depends upon your karma, how much responsibility you take as a citizen, how many duties you perform as a citizen of India. So the respect you will get will depend on your activities also. Then I will talk to Mr. Tariq Khan ji, Navika ji. He said, he quoted some Waqf property which are being used for charitable purposes. Tariq ji, I agree with you. There are some Waqf properties which are actually fulfilling the purpose of Waqf. We are not saying that all Waqf properties are in the hands of Waqf mafia. But what's wrong in getting it regulated by a proper system? Because Waqf mafias have corrupted the entire system, and the Waqf amendment bill is not to snatch those Waqf properties or charitable schools from you. Its purpose is to regulate Waqf properties to ensure that they are properly used and managed. इतनी सिंपल सी बात है. कोई Waqf property छीन नहीं रहा है. आप सिर्फ रजिस्टर करा लीजिए, आप डिजिटाइज करा लीजिए, आप डीएम जो है प्रॉपरली मॉनिटर करें, ताकि कुछ माफिया जो प्रॉपर्टीज को इलीगली इंक्रोच करते हैं, करप्शन करते हैं, प्रॉपर जगह इस्तेमाल हो पाए वक्फ प्रॉपर्टी। सिर्फ इतनी सी बात है। आप लोग प्रोपेगेंडा मचा रहे हैं। कांट यू सी द इनजस्टिस, द डिस्पैरिटी, द फ्लाइट ऑफ पुअर मुस्लिम? And then Navika ji, I also want to address one point about Pratap Gadi ji. He quoted some percentage. Pratap Gadi ji, आपने एक percentage बोली. Don't you know that 5% of Muslims were infringing the rights of 95% of Muslims? 95% मुसलमान भारत में गरीब हैं. Waqf is the third largest landowner in India.
Respond, Mr. Pratap Gadi. You know, anybody who supports becomes now Subhi Khan will become what? A Modi Bhakt because she's finding fault in your argument.
Navika ji, just 5 more seconds.
No, allow Mr. Pratap Gadi.
Madam, everywhere, not in Muslim community. What is happening to Dalits?
5% Muslims are still poor.
Yes, ma'am. It is not only with Muslim society. It is happening everywhere. You see, Hindu community. A student touches water bottle, his finger is broken by a teacher in Uttar Pradesh few days back, 2-3 days back, madam. And you are killed for keeping mustache in this country.
You know,
so
Mr.
it is
Pratap
happening
Gadi.
everywhere. You cannot.
Now you do not have an answer. Now you do not have an answer to the questions raised by Ms. Subhi Khan. So you are doing whataboutery. Classic case of whataboutery is happening.
This is irony.
Why
of
don't
the
you
society.
respond to
This
the
is the
question
irony of
she is
the society.
asking?
This can be corrected.
5% of Muslims are controlling 95% of Muslims and keeping them poor. Please respond to that charge.
Exactly, this is the problem of the society, madam. Even 5% Hindus are eating upon the others' right, madam, among Hindu society.
Right now,
so it is not a problem of Muslim, it is a problem of society,
religion,
Indian society.
Deviate the
So
topic.
it can be corrected with the current law.
That becomes not a problem of the minorities. That becomes a problem of the Indian
So
society.
Navika ji, whenever you will speak about the minorities, he'll make it about the society. When you speak about the society, he'll make it about something else. A specific question he can't address. Is it true or not that the Muslims have been the sufferers because of the Waqf board? Is it true or not that the Christians have also been the sufferers because of the Waqf board? Is it true or not that the benefit of the Waqf board has not gone to the Muslim community? The Congress has also acknowledged it in 1995. This is Sitaram Kesari's statement from the Lok Sabha. So if we are making it more transparent, what is your problem?
Yes.
And I openly challenge you on your show, on the show. Navika ji, you remember doing a lot of shows at the time of CA. It was Mr. Owaisi who said कि CA आएगा तो मुसलमानों की नागरिकता चली जाएगी. CA has been implemented and not a single Muslim has lost its citizenship. The same propaganda these individuals are trying to spread because A, they have not read the bill, or B, they have read the bill and they know it will benefit the Muslim community और इनकी दुकानदारी बंद हो जाएगी. This is the precise problem.
Kamruzaman Chaudhary.
Navika ji.
Basically, I wanted to ask a question to my dear friend Subhi Khan and Pradeep Bhandari out here. BJP is in power in Uttarakhand, in Uttar Pradesh, in Maharashtra for the last few years. How many women are there in the state Waqf board as of now? कल तो बहुत डिंडोरा पीट रहे थे पार्लियामेंट में that this bill is about empowering the women.
Navika ji,
Have Subhi Khan asked Yogi government? No, let me finish, please. Let me finish.
उत्तर प्रदेश वक्फ बोर्ड में मेरी दोस्त,
madam, don't get agitated. Let me finish.
अरे hello, please spreading fake news. I am addressing your question.
Let me finish. ये सवाल खत्म नहीं होता. जवाब आपको बहुत देना है आज.
ये सवाल का
You have to reply a lot.
But she is responding to your question.
Tell me one simple thing. Have you ever asked Yogi government that why are there no women in the Waqf boards of Uttarakhand, of Uttar Pradesh and Maharashtra? No, because we don't want to.
You know, Kamruzaman Chaudhary, if you allow the lady to speak, she will tell you. She is countering you with facts. Subhi Khan, please respond.
He is not even listening to me. Okay, you have asked the question. Let me answer. Navika ji, I have bad throat. Please let me answer this question.
Okay. Please.
Kamruzaman ji, first let me answer your first question.
Okay, she is answering your question, Kamruzaman ji. Please allow her to respond.
कमरुज़मान जी, आपकी जानकारी के लिए बता दूं, उत्तर प्रदेश में सुन्नी वक्फ बोर्ड में मेरी अपनी दोस्त सबिया अहमद नाम से मेंबर है. फर्जी झूठी खबरें मत फैलाइए. विमेन मेंबर्स हैं. नाउ आस्क योर सेकंड क्वेश्चन. आप पूछिए.
मैडम, मैडम
अरे दूसरा सवाल तो पूछिए जनाब।
कांग्रेस
ड्राइंग रूम एक्टिविज्म नहीं करते हम।
संशोधन हुआ था कि 3 औरतों को डाला जाएगा, आप तक क्यों नहीं डाले हो?
2 महिलाएं मैंडेटरी कर दी हैं।
इस तरह से वक्फ बोर्ड को चला रहे हो। लास्ट आज ये
2 women members have been made।
कांग्रेस का टाइम से
कर दिया है, at least 2 women members।
What aboutry cannot be an answer to this? Ishkaran Bhandari, there were women members in a few Waqf boards. Nobody is denying that. But when Mr. Kamru Zaman Chaudhary talks about Uttar Pradesh, well, the answer is given by Subuhi Khan. Then he talks about Maharashtra, BJP is in power. BJP से पहले एक महाविकास आघाड़ी भी थी ना? How many women did they appoint to the Waqf boards in Maharashtra?
No, I just wanted to expose the hypocrisy of the BJP.
I've exposed yours.
Navika ji, it's a question. Navika ji, I need to speak. It's a question to me, Navika ji.
Now the point out here, Navika ji, one more small point I wanted to
Hold on. The question is to Ishkaran Bhandari and he is answering. All other faders down. Ishkaran, please respond.
Yes, this is not the unamended Waqf Act that you can take over property as well as airtime of other people. So please follow the law because the law has changed. So the fact is that leave this issue. When you start by naming people, threatening people and scaring people, अगर आप law के लिए बोलोगे तो आप सरकारी मुलाना हो. If you vote for BJP, then you understand what happens on ground, how people who vote for BJP or speak up for BJP or speak up for anything which is not in the interest of the dominant class which has hijacked the Muslim narrative, how they are ostracized on ground. That thing comes out on national TV in the words called Sarkari Mulana, Godi Mulana, etc. It's a mindset. When the mindset talks about reform, that a woman should have a right whether she has to wear a burqa or not wear a burqa, the same people will come and say, will threaten, will create laws that no, you must wear it, otherwise you are falling prey to the BJP propaganda. And that is the reality out of which India has to come. It has to provide support to all sections of society. When you talk about reform within a community, from women to Pasmanda to all sections which have not gotten their due because a narrow minority within the Muslim community has managed to hijack all power and narrative. That is what scares them when the government brings in reform, treating everybody equally.
Well, absolutely. Ishkaran Bhandari, you've nailed it. And we asked this question on a social media poll. The result of the poll and the question we asked, is it right to target those who praise Modi, especially for Waqf reforms? Overwhelmingly, the majority of people say, Tariq Khan, freedom of choice kahan hai? Subuhi Khan says she's in favor of these reforms. There is Zaid Saifi who said he's in favor of these reforms. Many people are in favor of these reforms. Will they be beaten black and blue? Will they be threatened, to fear for their life? Is that how consensus is created?
Listen, Article 19(1)(b) allows to protest, okay? Farmer protest law protest was last for 1 year, 2 months. And they have protested, the law had been passed in the parliament on 17 September 2020. More than 1 year they have protested. Now nobody at that time asked them that they are against Modi, against the constitution, against the nation. This is not right. Listen, right-wingers challenged me to name one. I have named 3 Waqf organizations which are
I checked it online. There is no specific data. And the data tells you that 90%. 90. No, Tariq, you can't lie. You asked me, right? I googled it during the show. This is Grok for you. No, you told me. This is Grok for you. There is no specific data of the Waqf properties. No, there is no specific data of the number of schools you manage.
Please let me speak. You
do not lie.
Correspondent in every district. Ask the correspondent.
I am telling you the reality. I openly challenge you. एक 9 लाख एकड़ की प्रॉपर्टी में 2 भी नाम बता पाए जिसकी भी गारंटी नहीं है. ये आपका इतिहास है.
In case your correspondent denies, I'll leave the show. I'll say sorry. You have a correspondent in every district. Ask Bahraich correspondent that verse number 19.
All right. I'm sure this argument could have been presented in Parliament by your party, Tariq Khan. It wasn't. If you have so much information, so much data, and so much evidence, why was your party leader talking about China? Why was he worried about the BJP president being appointed? He could have presented these facts. Why did Rahul Gandhi not intervene when the democratic right was given to him to speak on this issue? Why was evidence missing from the arguments of the opposition? And when there is a parliamentary process and when there is a vote on the floor of the House and the opposition loses the vote, can they actually begin to now threaten people? I don't have a problem with protests. I don't have a problem with demonstrations. Yes, it is your right to protest against something that you don't like. But do you have the right to beat up people, black and blue, because they don't agree with you? And that's my take. In the true spirit of democracy, you can criticize and protest against the law. Government and even Prime Minister can be protested against. But no one has the right to beat, attack, or ostracize others simply because they back a contrarian ideology or a contrarian point of view. Anyone who backs the Waqf bill is not a Sarkari Maulana. He is backing the will and the wisdom of the parliament and his own thought process, his own intelligence. The temple of our democracy that is being supported. How can that be wrong? Ironically, the silence of the self-proclaimed saviors of the minorities and saviors of the constitution, like Rahul Gandhi, Akhilesh Yadav, Mamta Banerjee, and Asaduddin Owaisi, is deafening. Their selective silence is today undermining the very fabric of our democracy and of our nation. We leave it at that. Thank you very much to all my panelists for joining me on debate number 1.